In the headlines, giving up on the fight against Galamsey is not an option, President Akufo-Addo has said. He was speaking at an engagement with members of the National House of Chiefs and MMDCs in Kumasi today. We take you back to Tetegu and Weija areas, where NADMO has identified over 2,000 displaced persons as a result of the floods. Canoe fishermen have taken advantage of the situation and cashing in by transporting displaced persons out of their homes by charging between 50 and 100 Ghana cedis per trip. PURC orders ECG to pay compensation to prepaid customers, and we'll tell you why the Nigerian government has sued Meta, owners of Facebook, WhatsApp and Instagram, for $70 million. Welcome to Graphic Online's News in Brief. President Akufo-Addo was in Kumasi today, where he met with members of the National House of Chiefs, Metropolitan, Municipal and District Chief Executives. At a meeting held at the premises of the National House of Chiefs at Weija, President Akufo-Addo called for a collaborative work to help with the fight against illegal mining.
President Akufo-Addo said, despite the efforts against the menace not having yielded the desired results quickly, giving up was not an option, hence the need for a sustained collaboration. He therefore appealed to traditional leaders to join hands with him in the fight against illegal mining and to protect the environment devoid of partisanship. It will be recalled that President Akufo-Addo in July 2017 put his presidency on the line with a commitment to end the illegal small-scale mining. He noted that even though he had great allies in government, the war against Galamsey cannot be won without the influence of the chiefs. President Akufo-Addo asked for the exclusion of partisan politics in the fight against Galamsey and said the government would not tolerate any destructive mining activities such as Galamsey.
One of the most significant, which I have to state now, is to seek your assistance to take partisan political interests out of the fight against Galamsey. It can only succeed if it is a truly national battle. The progress of our country depends on all of us, all citizens of Ghana, all fellow Ghanaians pulling together to defeat this existential threat to our future. I've said it before, we are not against mining, but we cannot accept mining in a manner that risks destroying our country.
And we went back to Weija and the Tetegu areas to see how affected residents were coping with the floods from the spillage of the Weija Dam. The Director General of the National Disaster Management Organization, NADMO, has been leading the NADMO team to assess the situation. They have been able to identify over 2,000 displaced people as of now and found a safe haven for them. The NADMO boss has told journalists that all houses on water courses will be demolished. Meanwhile, canoe fishermen have been cashing in on the disaster by taking advantage and transporting displaced persons out of their homes to safe havens. They have been charging between 50 and 100 Ghana cedis per trip.
On Tuesday, October 4, hundreds of houses around the Weija Dam were flooded, leaving many residents displaced and in low spirits. The situation was not different today, as the flood waters has destroyed items running into millions of Ghana cedis. Houses and vehicles were also submerged in the flood waters. Residents now have to use canoes to move in and out of their homes, with others wading through the flood waters to get to their destinations. Canoe farmers transporting residents in and out of their homes have been charging between 50 and 100 Ghana cedis per trip. They were, however, unhappy today when NADMO brought a bigger and safer boat to transport people free of charge. The excess water was spilled by the Ghana Water Company Limited to save the dam from collapse due to the recent rains. The areas affected include Oblogo, Tetegu, New Weija, SCC, Tap-Top, Sampa Valley, parts of Top Town and American Farm at English Yamanfru. Residents have since yesterday expressed shock at the severity of the spillage, stating that the latest spillage has caused more destruction than the previous ones.
And due to the successful implementation and completion of the first and second compacts under the Millennium Development Compact, President Akufo-Addo has said he will make a case at the highest level for a third compact.
Speaking during a meeting when the chairman and the board members of the Millennium Development Authority presented their final report to him at the Jubilee House yesterday, President Akufo-Addo expressed the hope that the U.S. authorities would sit around the table for a new compact, looking at Ghana's record in executing the compact and its status as a truly functioning and stable democracy in the region, among what would constitute the requirements to qualify for it. The board supervised the execution of the second compact. President Akufo-Addo said Ghana's commitment to the rule of law remains unshaken and continued to deepen. Therefore, the various elements which constitute the requirements for being able to embrace the compact idea continue to be very present in the country.
And on the issue of the challenges with the ECG prepaid meters, the Public Utilities Regulatory Commission has ordered the Electricity Company of Ghana to pay compensation to all affected customers for the losses they have suffered.
In a statement on the recent failure in ECG prepayment vending system, the PURC ordered that each affected customer should be compensated for loss suffered as a show of responsive customer service and in compliance with the law. It said for residential customers, 10 penalty units, which is equivalent to 120 Ghana cedis, should be given to them, while non-residential customers, 20 penalty units, which has a cedi equivalent of 240 Ghana cedis, should be given to them. The statement said commercial customers should be compensated with 40 penalty units, which is 480 Ghana cedis. Industrial customers should receive 100 penalty units, that is 1,200 Ghana cedi equivalent, and residential lifeline customers should receive a compensation of 16 Ghana cedis. The time frame for the payment of the compensation to the affected customers, which should be in the form of a one-time electricity credit, it said, should commence from October 1 and would end on October 7, 2022. The compensation shall be clearly displayed on customers' receipts. ECG shall issue widespread notifications to inform customers of the compensation due to them. ECG shall maintain accurate records of measures taken to comply with this order, including the number of temporary staff engaged it ordered. The order is in line with Public Utilities Act 1997, Act 538, and Regulations 41 and 45.
Parliament has failed to be an effective check on the executive arm of government. The Minority Leader Haruna Idrisu and the Deputy Attorney General Alfred Tuah have said. While the Minority Leader attributed the failures of Parliament to extreme partisanship and extensive powers granted the executive by the 1992 Constitution, Mr. Tuah is of the view that the legislative body had the necessary powers to be effective but had failed to utilize them.
Speaking as part of a panel of 3 lawyers at a colloquium to mark the 20th anniversary of the 2002 class of the Ghana Law School, Mr. Idrisu said the 1992 Constitution had indirectly made the president a monarchy with so many powers to the extent members of parliament, depending on which government was in power, performed their functions to please the president. However, for Mr. Tuah, parliament was equally powerful, if not more than the executive, as it had the power to remove the president and censure ministers, and therefore any failure on the part of parliament should be placed at the doorsteps of the legislative body. No one is denying parliament the power to check the executive, but perhaps it has failed to do so from its own doing, he said. The third panelist was Victoria Bath, a private legal practitioner and lecturer at the Ghana School of Law. All the 3 panelists were members of the 2002 class of the Ghana School of Law. The colloquium was on the theme Parliament as a countervailing force for effective governance in Ghana, challenges, prospects and recommendations, and was moderated by the chairman of the National Media Commission, Yabuedu Ayeboafo, also a member of the 2002 class of the Ghana School of Law. The event was attended by 2 justices of the Supreme Court, Justices Nene Amegacha and Henrietta Mensah Bonsu, the majority leader in Parliament, Oseichei Mensah Bonsu, a former Speaker of Parliament, Professor Aaron Michael Quay, the director of the Ghana School of Law, Yao Opon, and many law students.
And before we go, Meta, the parent company of Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp, has been sued by the Nigerian government. The suit was filed on behalf of the government by the Advertising Regulatory Council of Nigeria in the Federal High Court in Abuja.
The country's advertising governing agency revealed on Tuesday that advertisements on Facebook, Instagram and WhatsApp in the Nigerian market are not vetted and approved by the government. According to ACON, this advertisement by Meta Platforms Incorporated has exposed the government to loss of revenue in advertisements. It said the continued and scrutinized adverts and other publications emanating from Mark Zuckerberg's Meta-owned social media platforms are illegal, unlawful, and a violation of advertising law in Nigeria. It is requesting a $70 million fine on Meta for breaking the advertising laws, as well as compensation for lost sales.
News in Brief was brought to you by Graphic News Plus.
Download your Graphic News Plus now and choose your preferred package daily, weekly, monthly, and annually, and access free news on various interest areas as well. Graphic News Plus, connecting people through news.
Thank you for watching. For more news, please visit our website graphic.com.gh or follow us on Facebook at Daily Graphic and on YouTube and Twitter at GraphicGH. I am Enoch Dafa Frimpong.